everyone, I'm Rebecca and welcome back to my sewing room. Today we are going to make a light up skirt. Or rather, we are going to remake an existing light up skirt that I made a couple of years ago that is having some issues. So I figured that this would be the perfect opportunity to show you how to set up a skirt to make it light up. Now, these tips can be applied to probably pretty much any skirt out there, and honestly probably a lot of other types of clothing as well. This is just a really easy way to get your clothes to light up. Now, a couple of years ago, I did make this skirt right here with the intention of it lighting up. I made this with fireworks all over and the Disney castle, and somewhere on here there's also the partner statue and Tinkerbell, and I machine embroidered this and designed certain places within the skirt to have lights come through. So we are going to start with that base of having the lights come through, but first I need to take out these old lights and redo them in a better, more efficient, and more lasting way. Because the way that I did this last time was I duct taped lights on the inside of the skirt. And well, that seemed like a good idea at first. Basically every time that I've worn the skirt, because I have worn it other times as well besides that first time, basically every time I've worn the skirt I have had to re-put the lights in their locations, which is kind of annoying because otherwise the inside just winds up kind of this tangled mess. But in hindsight, honestly, it's good that I did this sort of a temporary solution with these lights, because the reason that I actually have to redo the lights is because my battery pack corroded. And this time we are going to put our lights in much more permanently, but in between me wearing it, I'm going to make sure that I take the batteries out of the battery pack so that there is no chance that they can corrode in the future. Now, I do want to say a little caveat. Obviously, with lights permanently in this skirt, this is a spot clean only skirt. This is not something you can throw in the washing machine. And frankly, if I knew that the fabric would hold up and the embroideries would hold up, I would probably go throw it in the washing machine after removing these old lights. But this is a cotton and metallic fabric. I don't know how well this comes off on camera, but this is something that they had at Joann's a couple years ago. I don't know if it's still available. That basically I never get these right, the vertical, warp, weft, not sure, but the vertical of this fabric is cotton and the horizontal is rainbow strands of metallic. So it really creates this amazing fabric, and it works really well with light because it does actually catch the light even while being what feels like a cotton skirt. So anyway, I am going to take out my duct tape lights and show you how to put in lights that last. Let's talk lights to begin with. The lights that I will be using for this, they're the same ones that I used last time, and they are from Amazon. I will leave a link down below, but they are LED lights that use AA batteries. So this is one of those kinds with a pretty big honkin' battery pack. These aren't your little watch batteries that you have in this one, and I actually built in battery packs into the pockets that I will show you. But I like this because it is long lasting. Were it not for the corrosion, these lights would still be fine. You can change out the batteries very easily if you need to. And I also really like that it comes with a remote. These are color changing lights, and you are able to set any particular color that you want, or what I like to do is you can set it to fade so that the lights just gradually change color as you wear them. I think that that looks really cool. In fact, here is a little clip of me wearing this at Disney last time, and I am redoing this for my Disney trip that is coming up this year. By the way, these are 33-foot light strands, which I think is like 10 meters, something like that. And I recommend not going any shorter than this, and you need 2 of them to fill out a circle skirt. At least for my size, you need 2 of these lights to really have any nice sort of effect in a circle skirt. So as I remove all of the duct tape for these light strands, let me show you the key to how this works. So again, I mentioned that there are embroidered designs. There are light holes poked through the embroidered designs into the embroidered designs, but there are also just light holes poked into the fabric. I did all of this with an awl. So I just poked holes in the fabric, and in some cases, I poked holes into the design of the embroidery. So for example, I would poke holes through a Mickey, and I just poked those holes and then did a little bit of fray check so that the hole would really have a good chance of staying open. And they didn't need to be very big. I made them about the size of the LED lights, but you don't want to go any larger than that. And I just poked them through and then strung the lights so that each hole would be the distance between these lights. So that is very important when you are going and you're making your holes, is don't make them farther apart than your lights are. You can make them closer together because you can squinch up this wire, that's not a problem, but make sure that your light holes are the same distance apart that your lights are on the wire. The key to the battery packs are pockets on your pockets. So right now we're looking at the inside of the skirt here, the inside of the pocket bag, or I guess the outside of the pocket bag, the part your hand doesn't go into. And on the outside of this pocket, while I was sewing it all together, before I sewed the two sides of the pocket together, I created a battery pouch. So right here, and this is just safety pinned shut, but right here we have a pouch that our battery pack goes into, and there's one on each of the pockets on each side. And here's our AA batteries, 3 of them, and that just lives in here. Now there is a switch on here to change colors and stuff, but the remote just works way, way better. Let's see if this will even work. Nope, this one must be the dead one. So yeah, that's not turning anything on. That's the dead battery pack. So of course I haven't mentioned how I am now going to adhere all of the lights, the new lights, to the skirt. By the way, Dora in her cone says hi. But the answer is sewing. Yeah, you probably don't see anything here, right? That's because I happen to have this metallic thread that is like the exact same colors as this metallic fabric. Now, do you see the zigzag? So I am going to zigzag stitch near every intersection. I don't plan to stitch down the entire wire, but I plan to zigzag stitch over the wires next to each light, kind of like on either side of each light. So I'll just do a few stitches, maybe like 5 or 6, and they seem to blend pretty seamlessly into there. Now, I guess part of that question will be to see how that looks in the embroidered section, and I don't want to do an embroidered firework to test that, so I'm just going to test that like as is on the embroidery. But on the sections that don't have embroidery, wow, I mean, that really blends in. Oh, and this is the thread in question. I don't remember where I got it from, and I honestly may have gotten it from someone giving it away, either like back when I worked for a sewing shop or possibly at Costume College Bargain Basement. I honestly don't remember, but I have 2 spools of this, and it is Gutermann thread. 9985 is the number on there. You can see the Gutermann, and there's another number that might be important. Not sure. It says 100% polyester. I feel like that's wrong because it's metallic, but whatever. But yeah, this stuff is amazing. So hopefully my 2 spools will do fine, because otherwise, yeah, I'm not sure if you can get this at Joann's. So I've put in my first 8 lights here, and there's a few things that I've noticed. One is that this thread, my machine auto cuts the thread, and this thread, this metallic thread, seems to like to not pick up the bobbin again if you do that. So I don't recommend using the auto cut feature if you have one. And also you can't use the auto needle threader if you have one of those. It will not go in. So I am threading by hand, and also I am not doing the auto cut. One thing that I experimented with over here, since this is the side of the skirt, so it's sort of less obtrusive, is that I experimented with actually just doing a full zigzag of the wire in between the lights wherever there wasn't a firework. So I did that for here, 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 and here. And honestly, I'm not sure I love it, because I feel like it takes away some of the magic, because now I can know that there are wires there. Now that'll be very, very easy for me to undo. What I've done is every time I get close to a light, I do a bunch of really dense stitches. I know you're not going to be able to see this at all, especially with this light glowing, but there's a bunch of really dense stitches right on either side of the light. And then these are very, very wide or long stitches down here. And then more dense stitches again as I get to the next light. So I should be able to, even for just these guys here, I should be able to just rip those stitches in between and it won't be a problem. But I think going forward, you can see here with the firework how it floats over the firework because I stopped my stitch in between. And actually I didn't cut my thread, I just pulled it to the next one and then did my dent stitches. But I really like that it looks like it's floating. It doesn't look like there's a wire behind there. Dora, those are my fireworks. Dora, you can't be on this skirt. Dora, you gotta get off the light up skirt. Oh, Dora. Really? Really, Dora? Now that Dora has been moved over here and appeased with pets, so I think I'm going to try the floating. I'm gonna undo at least one of these rows of stitches and see what that looks like when it looks more floaty with the background. Much better. You can still tell a little bit, particularly because the sewing did cause a little wrinkle, that they are there, but I've undone the stitches here, and here, and they just look so much better now, like so much smoother. The lights just kind of look like they're floating. And especially if this wire gets a little bit pulled back from there, I think that crease will wind up going away. There might be a way to iron it. I'm not really sure. Obviously I can't iron the wire or the lights, but the crease will come out over time anyway. So yeah, much better. And at this point going forward, I will just sew on either side of each little light point, just several zigzags, almost like a satin stitch right on either side. And I'm going to do this whole skirt with both light strands. So I'll see you in a while. So overall, although that it did take longer than doing this by duct tape, I think this has been a super, super effective method of getting all of the lights to be exactly where they need to be and to hopefully stay there and not have to be adjusted every single time I wear the skirt like I did with the duct tape. So I am going to remember to take the batteries out of here after doing this and after my Disney trip. And that way this skirt can hopefully last for a very, very long time with these current lights in them. Anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful or you liked it, please go ahead and click the thumbs up icon. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, please go ahead and click subscribe and the little bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video. I do post videos here on YouTube twice a week with my sewing vlogs out on Tuesdays and other costuming content out on Saturdays, but I post every day over on my Instagram, so please go follow me on Instagram. That's at Lady Rebecca Fashions. And if you'd like to help support all of the work that I do on this channel, I do have a link to my Patreon and my Ko-fi down in the description below. I'd also like to give a special shout out to my Edwardian level patron, Sharon. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Happy sewing!